with city council members via email, phone, or mail. Okay, we are at item A4, approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
All right, the motion's been made by Councilmember Rogers and seconded by Councilmember Kitchen. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All opposed? All right, then motion passes. First public hearing item is item B1, which is an ordinance on small cell wireless facilities. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 14.32 and enacting Chapter 14.5 of the Salt Lake City Code to regulate the placement of wireless telecommunication facilities in the public right-of-way. All right, I'm not seeing any cards. Is there anybody who wishes to speak to this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll look for a motion on this.
Mr. Chair, I move that the council close the public hearing and refer action to a future date.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilmember Mendenhall and seconded by Councilmember Johnston. Is there any discussion on this?
Yeah, actually, I'd like to make a substitute motion.
Yes.
Design guidelines.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I move that we continue the public hearing to a future date.
Okay. All right, so I have two motions. Sorry, substitute motion, that's right. So by Council Member Luke and seconded by Council Member Fowler. Is there any discussion to
Yeah,
this?
the
Yeah.
discussion to this would be, the reason that we would continue it is to allow for another public hearing to review the design guidelines that Planning Department are currently working on for this. So instead of having to reopen or renotice another public hearing, we can continue this public hearing and have that accomplished in a future date.
All right. Any other discussion? All right, then I'll ask for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, and I'm an aye as well, so that motion passes. Okay. Our second public hearing item is item number B2 regarding an ordinance amending the identification requirements for business license applicants. Is there anyone, I don't have any cards on this. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to this ordinance or proposed ordinance? Seeing none.
Mr. Chair, I move that the council close the public hearing and defer action until a later date.
All right, I have a motion by Councilmember Rogers and seconded by Councilmember Fowler. Is there any discussion? All right, then I'll ask for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, seeing that motion passes. On to our next public hearing item, which is item number B3. It's regarding ordinances for the truth in taxation hearing for fiscal year 2018-2019. Oh, goody, I have some cards. Thank you. All right, the first card, I'll read the name of the card that I have right now, and if you'll come up to the podium, then I'll read the name of the second card, so if you'll just be prepared that you're on deck. So Kira Kilmer. Okay. Oh, come on up to the podium.
Anyway, and Aaron, I think I'm in your district in East Liberty Park, and I may or may not be in the right place to ask this question, but since I wrote it down, I'll ask you, and maybe you have an answer on this.
Just pull that microphone down closer to your, there you go.
Short person?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Coming through?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I have one of those little bungalows in East Liberty Park, and my valuation went up 33%, and my taxes went up $500, which is certainly more than any other year. And so I'm curious as to whether anybody on the council can tell me, was this all the houses in Liberty Park? Am I an anomaly and I should go down to the tax people? And if it is something that's going to happen to everybody in the district, is it going to happen every year? Or is this like once in every 10 years because we haven't done it in a long time? That's
So-
my question.
So, Kara, we don't typically answer, or Ms. Kilmer, excuse me, we don't typically answer questions in this format, but we can get you an answer to your question. So if I can direct you to one of our staff members, I'm sure they would be happy to answer all of that for you. And if you have additional questions, you can follow up with one of us directly.
Or go to the county assessor building?
Yes, Councilmember
So
Johnston.
who do I,
So
Just
Kira,
1 second, Councilmember
so
Johnston.
Kira on
Our-
the wall over there?
Our staff,
There
Kira,
you go.
also Kira, will talk to you for a minute, and then I can step out after the meeting and talk to you some more if you still have questions.
Same
Thank
with
you.
me.
I'm Jenna.
I'm happy to chat after also.
Okay. All right, the next card that I have is Margaret Holloway, followed by Mitchell Nielsen.
The face to go with the comments that I said. Which I know you guys probably get. Anyways, truth and taxation. I implore you to keep the money in the areas that's supposed to go. When your money gets moved around, then you come back and ask for more, you lose credibility. I don't mind the taxes. I just want them to go where they're supposed to go. And if you do have to move them, I implore you to please have a way to put the money back. The last administration liked to move the money and didn't put it back. Then it rolls and rolls and rolls. It just needs to stay where it's supposed to go unless there's a way to put it back. That's all. I don't mind paying them. I know a lot of people don't. It needs to be done. But please, if you can do that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Holloway. Up next is Mitchell Nielsen. And this is the last card that I have. So if anybody else would like to speak to the truth and taxation, please fill out a pink card. All right, thank you, Mr. Nielsen.
Yeah, thanks for hearing me. My name is Michael. I probably have
Oh, I'm sorry.
poor handwriting, but
Okay.
one of the things that I wanted to get some clarification on, and maybe you might not have the answers, but essentially the list kind of shows that Salt Lake School District wants, additional $400 and this other, but it doesn't really give me a reason or rationale why. Is this for bonds? Is this for old debts that couldn't get paid, or what that information is, and why? That way I could understand like the rationale for why my house is now twice its value, according to the state. Do you have any input on that?
So again, we can refer you to a staff member who can answer those specific questions. I also note that you live in my district, so I'm happy to meet with you and discuss them, or talk with you over the phone. But we can answer all of your questions, but we just, in this format, it's for people to direct comments to us.
Okay.
So,
And I'll be around after the meeting and can talk to you.
yeah, so will I. So staff can meet with you as soon as, maybe as soon as Kira is done speaking with Kira, then we can have her start meeting with you, and then if you want to wait, I'm happy to talk with you. Otherwise, we can set up a time or email or talk on the phone. Okay?
Okay.
Well, Mr. Chair, it might be helpful. Your point is a good one, but it's also a property tax, which is a county
Yes.
thing. Our geotax is a city one, but it's different than that. And so maybe clarifying for other folks who are watching, not just you, but everyone else, that when we're talking about our tax, it's a geo bond for, a general obligation bond for the city, but the property taxes on your home are a county thing totally different than
Yeah.
this. So sometimes those issues get conflated by folks, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The county assesses the value of your
I'm
home.
not going to nod and make that I understand what you said. But yeah, I will talk with you after.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments?
No.
All right, thank you. All right, I just got another card from Spencer Nitz, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. All right, I'm going to try and get through this with as few cliches as possible. I didn't feel like I should come tonight. I am a renter in the Capitol Hill neighborhood, looking at purchasing a house within Salt Lake City. And just looking at the history of Salt Lake City's tax increases from the transportation tax that the city approved, that the county then approved through that bill passed to the legislature, we're just seeing tax increases all across the board. And the more I look into it, the less and less I'm inclined to purchase a house in this city. I constantly hear the administration and the city council complain about the lack of affordable housing in our city and in our county, and turn around and then increase taxes on a very regular basis. And it's pricing people, including myself. I work for a nonprofit, I'm not rolling in a ton of money. And it's pricing people right out of the city. Would I love to continue living in Salt Lake City, but at the rate that these increases are approved, I don't know in 15, 20 years I'll be able to afford the property taxes on a house if I'm to purchase one here. And so I would just please urge caution and think about reallocating some of the money that you currently spend, and watch out for people that are not as well off in our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nitz. I do not have any other comment cards in my hand. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak to the truth and taxation issue? Seeing no one else, I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion that the council closes public hearing and adopt an ordinance establishing the final rate of tax levy, including the final levy for the library fund upon all real and personal property within Salt Lake City, made taxable by law for fiscal year 2018, 2019, and ratify the budget as adopted by the council in June.
All right, I have a motion by Councilmember Mendenhall and seconded by Councilmember Kitchen. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes, and we will move on to Section C, potential action items of our agenda. Item C1 is regarding an ordinance rezoning a portion of one parcel located at 744 West Jackson Avenue from SR1 Special Development Pattern Residential District to TSA UNT Transit Station Area District.
Mr. Chair, I move that the council adopt a zoning amendment pertaining to the property located at 744 West Jackson Avenue to TSA UNT.
Is there a second?
Second. Could we clarify? I think
Sure.
it's a zoning amendment or?
Zoning map, let's see, amending the zoning map.
Okay,
Yeah,
My bad.
sorry.
okay.
Thanks.
So I have a motion by Councilmember Kitchen and a second by Councilmember Rogers, is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Is there any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, then motion passes. Okay, now we are on to Section D, which is questions to the mayor from the city council. Are there any questions of the mayor? And thank you for being here, Patrick Leary and David Litvack. How's your night going? Good? All right, great. All right, then seeing no other questions, we'll move on to item D2. We'll be taking general comments. So I'll call people based on the comment cards that have been turned in. Oh, good, here we go. So I'll call two at a time. The first person, please come forward to the mic. Oh, and there's only one, so no problem. Margaret Holloway.
This is about the bond for the roads. When I send in a comment about dangerous potholes, only to be responded by, first pass the bond, then we'll put it on the list. Inexcusable, totally inexcusable. Mr. Kitchen knows exactly what I'm talking about because I addressed it to him. He did not know I did not live in his district. My boss lives in his district, and I implored her to write to him instead of me. It is then found out when then she got her other friends to write too. Then I got a second response. Oh, the city doesn't own that road. The utilities does. The utilities will fix that road. But to be told first off, sorry, first pass the bond, then we will fix the road. When it's dangerous potholes, when they just witnessed a bicyclist get taken off in an ambulance. You guys want to pass this thing? The roads need to be fixed. We all understand that. But in order to do that, when you first send out a response like that, it gets people angry. It gets me angry, extremely angry. And I know, because I sent it all to you about this situation. So it needs to change the dialogue on how you respond when people are concerned about their potholes. Because it's not just the east side, it's the west side. I complained to the city. James's staff took upon, because I had a problem over on 2200 West. And that's right, and I found out, his staff got back to me and said it was county business. I got a hold of the county fixed it. They went out and they did a beautiful, beautiful job. So smooth, you don't even know they've done it. Because it was an issue that needed to be taken care of. They were 6 inches deep. And it's not, we weren't asking for paving, we were asking for pot to be patched, because paving's a whole different issue. But you need to change the dialogue when people ask for concern when it's a safety issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holloway. All right. I don't have any other cards for the general comment period. Is anybody else here that wishes to speak? All right. Then we'll move on to new business. We have no new business. We'll move on then to unfinished business. It's
Don't we need to vote on that,
sorry.
on the motion sheet? We need to do a motion off of that, don't we?
Yeah, we don't have a
On
motion
F1?
sheet on it. On C1, you mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I've got the old one.
Yeah, we
Oh
don't.
yeah, I'm
we
not
don't
to
have a
F1 just
C1.
yet.
Oh, yeah, we do it there.
We already did C1.
Mine's just numbered old,
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
so.
So now
sorry.
we're on F1, which is a resolution which is funding our future streets reconstruction general obligation bond. Is there, I'll look for motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that the council adopt a resolution providing for the holding of a local special bond election in Salt Lake City, Utah, for the purpose of submitting to the qualified electors of the city the question of the issuance and sale of $87 million general obligation bonds, providing for the holding of a public hearing and the publication of a notice of public hearing, and providing for related matters.
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Councilmember Mendenhall, seconded by Councilmember Kitchen. All in favor, please say aye.
Can we have a discussion?
Oh, I'm sorry. Any discussion on the motion?
I'd like to just say that this is an opportunity after a ton of work with the administration, with council staff, council members, to have a conversation with our community about a singular need, which is streets reconstruction. And I'm glad that we get to do this through a vote by the public. We're putting this, I hope that we're about to vote unanimously to support putting this on the ballot and asking our residents if they want to make this kind of a commitment to rebuilding our streets. And it's a piece of a series of funding, part of which is the county transportation money, another part of which is the sales tax money to go towards maintenance of our streets. But it's such an enormous pothole of financial need, to borrow an analogy here, that we need multiple streams of funding to even begin to get towards filling it. So I hope we're about to support this piece of that funding and ask our voters if they will too.
Any other discussion? All right, then I'll ask for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
An aye. All opposed, say nay. All right, then that does pass unanimously. All right. Our second unfinished business item is F2, regarding a resolution for the Central Business Improvement Area 2019 designation.
Mr. Chair, I move the council adopt a resolution of intention to designate an assessment area for the purpose of levying assessments against properties within the area to continue to promote business activity and economic development in the central business area of downtown Salt Lake City.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Councilmember Kitchen and a second by Councilmember Rogers. Is there any discussion to this motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. All right, that motion passes. All right, we're now on the consent portion of our agenda. I will look for a motion to approve the consent
Move for
agenda.
approval.
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Councilmember Rogers and a second by Councilmember Kitchen. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion passes. Thank you. This concludes our formal city council meeting, and this meeting will stand adjourned. Thank you.